Can David beat Goliath? Yes, he can. Yes, he will. Yes, he did. From humble beginnings to the ability to change an industry.
10 years ago, I bought a one-way ticket from Glasgow Central to St Pancras.
The backpack and £200. He slept in kitchen floors for a number of months.
Didn't know where I was going. No job. Nobody to go to, except I had a big dream and a big heart. Fast forward 10 years, there's been lots of hassle, lots of struggles, lots of people trying to hold me back. But at the end of it, in the last 24 months, we've turned over in excess of £4 million.
And nobody can stop him. Not even a corporate giant.
A lot of time had been invested in presenting a case to me and making demands of our company that we essentially had to move out of the country and stop doing what we were doing.
Tenacity, belief, honesty, drive, and a special responsibility to make the world a better place is creating an energy that's just unstoppable.
Treat people with the respect that you would like to be treated with, and then you sleep at night.
Business owner next door, Michael McGinley, beats Goliath at the Royal Court of Justice, and he sets his sails to change the industry and take his business to over £100 million. Let's do this.
If there's one lesson, get on a fucking train.
Oh, hell about that. There you go. There you go.
Michael McGinley, what does it take for a business owner of a small business to stand up for themselves?
Tenacity, plenty of belief in yourself, and, well, honesty and drive.
Tenacity, belief, honesty and drive.
Yeah.
Why did you say tenacity first?
Because without tenacity, you're not going to get things over the line.
Without a combination of all four of them things, will you not stand up for yourself?
Well, it's dependent, but I think if you want to succeed at something, then you need the full mix.
You need tenacity, belief. Where do you get your belief from?
Internally.
But from what?
From experience.
Experience of?
Experience in life, situations, things that you've been through yourself, situations that you've seen others been involved in, and knowing that you can beat them.
What about honesty then? Because you do strike me, and we've had a number of conversations actually behind the scenes, you do strike me as a genuinely honest person.
Mm-hmm.
And have other people said that to you?
Well, most likely, but it's sort of it's like a core belief of mine. Like, and I'm like this with my children as well. Like, don't tell lies. What's the point? What is the point of telling lies? Because if you tell a lie, then you'll have to cover a lie with a lie. Yeah? And if you don't tell lies and you've done nothing wrong, then you can go to your bed at night and you can sleep. But if you've got something that you'll always get found out, and there's always somebody watching. My wife says that as well. That's like a phrase that her mum would use. Siempre hay algo viendo.
You'll always get found out. There's always somebody watching.
There's always somebody watching, even when you think they're not. So tell the truth, be honest, be sincere, treat people with the respect that you would like to be treated with, and then you sleep at night.
I just love that last point that you said it at the start and the finish there. And then you'll sleep well at night.
Yeah.
Do you sleep well at night?
I do.
Has anyone ever been dishonest to you?
Oh no, certainly. Aye.
How do you deal with that?
I suppose all it does is I would tend to soak things up to a degree. So if I know that somebody is being dishonest, I'll let them be dishonest. But then what it does is it categorises a profile in your head about how you really respond to them. So maybe there might be a wee bit of tweezers going on then after that, or we'll just watch how we communicate with that person going forward.
All right, so you're bringing your children up on these values. How old are your children, just so that we've got a point of reference?
5, 6, 8, 12 and 20. So I've got quite a few children and they're coming on.
That's 5, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
You've got your hands full and you're building a business at the same time.
That's true. What else are you going to do?
I already like you. So drive then. Where do you get your drive from?
my drive, fundamentally, I would say my drive comes from responsibility. Okay, so I've heard you saying this statement before, that the biggest performance enhancing drug is taming the voice in your head, right? So that is correct, and that works for me as well. But I find that responsibility, so say for example, I've been maybe at previous stages in my life, maybe lacking some opportunity or lacking a bit of drive. When you've got kids, for example, then you've got a responsibility towards them, right? And so, are you going to let them down?
No.
No, you're not going to let them down. So responsibility for me is what will give a human the most
Drive.
The most drive.
Responsibility equals drive, and the more responsibilities you've got,
The more drive. Keep on going. Pile it on.
is that right? I mean,
Definitely. Yeah.
so you started in Glasgow.
Yeah.
You were born and raised in Glasgow.
Born and raised just outside Glasgow.
What was it like growing up in Glasgow for you?
It was, well, a bit rough at times, you know. But really, it's a great place. Lovely people, very friendly. I enjoyed growing up there, but there comes a time where you need to move on, and that happened to me in my sort of. I actually moved away from Glasgow. I left home when I was 17 or something. I came back, and then eventually left in my late 20s.
What was the situation to leave? Where were you going?
Just a lack of opportunities at the time, you know, and I'd made a couple of bad decisions in my life. A couple of things had happened, a couple of compromising situations, and I had to draw a line under it. So I decided that I was going to charge on.
You was going to charge on. Where
That's
did you
it.
charge?
Went down to London. Went down to London. As I said, I didn't know where I was going. I bought myself a one-way ticket from Glasgow to St Pancras. I had a backpack and £200, as the story goes. And I just landed in London, managed to get a job in construction with some, let me say, hard-working or hard-drinking Irish men. Slept in kitchen floors for a number of months, and then eventually managed to get to coince my well, she was my girlfriend at the time, but she's from Venezuela, South America. So she came over, and then we managed to get a flat, and then things started to go from there. And then eventually she got pregnant, and then boom, there comes the responsibility. You see, so time to assert.
Well,
Yeah.
do you know? I'm really pleased that you shared that right at the start, because you've started really. It's a humbling beginnings, really.
Mm-hmm.
You started from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You got on the train with a backpack and £200.
Yep.
You slept on the kitchen floor.
Yep.
And I know now your current situation, you've created a pathway to £100 million plus business.
Yes.
And that's there, it's real.
Yep.
So pay attention, folks, because we're going to work out how and why this has happened. So when did you start your business?
Started the business in 2020. I did have a business before then. Things didn't go to plan.
What is the business?
The business is I work in this industry of heat storage range cookers, traditional cast
Why
iron.
did you get into that?
No idea. No idea. I'd worked with somebody previously that used to do a bit of it. This is back in Glasgow. And then I was in this, we were living in East London, and I had this sort of curious obsession about these appliances. So I was reading, I don't know if you remember the yellow paper, so I'm sitting looking at the yellow paper, exchanging mart or something, and somebody was selling one of these. So I thought, I'm going to go and get that. So I hired a van, and I went and I drove to this house in Exeter or something, and this guy's selling this old cast iron range cooker, about 80 years old. And I says, I'm here for the cooker. This thing weighs about 600 kilos. So got the bag of spanners out, and I started stripping it down, and I dismantled it in the guy's house, made a terrible mess. And then I drove it back to London. And then I brought it, I made a little cellar out the back of the flat. And of course she's looking at me with sort of one eye saying, what the hell are you up to here? You see? And I said, don't worry. So I put this thing in the cellar, and then I left it there for a week or two, and then one weekend I thought I'm going to go out and try and build that thing. So I went and I built it in this cellar with a low ceiling. Done it fine, and then stripped it down, dismantled it, then built it again, stripped it, and this went on for a couple of weeks.
Why did you do that?
To learn about it. See, sort of a curious obsession about it. So I done that, and then I eventually changed some parts on it, and then I managed to sell it, and then I got another one, and then I got another one. So then our flat in the East End of London, a basement flat, ended up having, the whole house was full of these old cast iron cookers. And of course she was looking at me with one eye to begin with. It was getting a bit critical at that stage. So then I started selling them, and then it started to get more, and then I hired a wee garage, and then I got myself a bit of a small workshop, and then I registered a limited company and then started building it up. And so then what I done then for the next, you may say, 10 years was I would go around the country getting these appliances, all different obscure models from different manufacturers, models which weren't successful, popular models, different fuel types, oil, gas, electric, coal, you name it. And I would renovate them and sell them on. And I done really well out of it. And it started building up. It kept on going, until then I started to think, like, I would always be sort of like challenging it, saying, why on earth did they do it like that? Why did they do it like that? Why did they do it like that? And then I started formulating my ideas of how all of these things could be done better, you see. So then that gave rise to a couple of concepts. One which is an electronic control system, which is a retrofit product which will convert existing appliances to run on my electronic control system, of which the ramifications for that are wide and vast. So as far as green credentials, say for example a traditional model will create 7,500 tonnes of carbon per year, whereas my solution can be run for 750 kilos a year.
And that's an add-on?
It's remove the existing operating system, put in my operating system, and then your emissions will go down 1,000%. Okay? Ramifications on the...
Did you invent this?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you an inventor?
I don't know if you call me an inventor or
well, you invented it.
I invented it.
You are now
okay,
an inventor.
I'm an inventor. There you go. Right. So, so it does that. Then running costs. So traditional model can cost you £100 a week to run, for example. You can run mine for £1 a day. Then it opens the door to the amount of additional features and add-ons that you can put onto the system with regards to functionality. So it revolutionises the usage of these appliances for the
right?
It
can cost up to £100 a week.
Yeah.
And yours can run for £1 a day.
£1 a day. If you
just by replacing this.
Yeah. So it's been a wild success. And it's engaged in an industry.
Yeah, talk about sustainability.
Oh, entirely.
Carbon footprint.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, that's an innovation, yeah?
Yes.
Is that why you won this year UK's most innovative company at BizX?
I believe so, yeah.
Because of that invention?
Because of that invention and my bigger project. Which
Persistence.
Persistence, there you go, yeah.
Well, what is the bigger project?
The bigger project is it's through another company of mine, and this is called Stone Cookers. And what this is not only a control system, this is a full range of super high efficiency, high end range cookers, which turbocharge performance, all of the green stuff we're talking about, all of the reduction in running costs. This is a complete range of cookers, and it's taken me many, many years to design, to fund, for research and development, for testing, for changing approaches to it, and it's now a tangible product. It's a real thing. You can touch it. We launched this year in April. Ideal Home Show, 250,000 people. What would we call it? The ultimate focus group, right? So you're standing there. We had our big 9-metre stand, and I brought six appliances, 6 cookers with me, and you can watch people walking past. You see, so you watch women walking past, biting their lip, right? because these things look so snazzy, right? You watch men stopping and they want to talk to you about the technical aspects of it, and the feedback we got was absolutely amazing. We then went on to Grand Designs in May, similar feedback, took on a great number of sales from it. We're now going on to this full launch of the product, which is going to be happening in October or early November this year. We've attracted the attention of, what will I say, the original rock star chef. So our brand ambassador is Marco Pierre White, who loves the idea, loves the concept, and I think it exudes what we're trying to do and what we're all about. So loads of good stuff happening, loads of buzz about it. And
How did that come about, Marco Pierre White, being your brand ambassador?
Well, I kind of decided a number of years ago that that's what I wanted to do, and so
You had a vision.
well, you may say that, but I think if you get an idea and if you just go like that, this is happening, then that's it.
Yeah, but look, you're finished. You're a complete finisher.
Mm-hmm.
You've got an idea and you've got the finished product. You're launching it where it's 250,000 people and people can see it.
Yeah.
It's not an idea anymore.
No,
And
definitely
it's not an idea anymore that Marco Pierre White's going to be a brand ambassador. He actually is.
Yeah.
You've set yourself up. By the way, folks, if you're listening, this isn't the full story. Pay massive attention. Now, you did refer to a business that you set up in 2020 as well.
Yeah.
What have been your toughest challenges in setting up and growing your business?
Toughest challenges? Well, I would say developing products, which you may call it a challenge, right? But like I would look at it as an enjoyment, you see. So it's like what I'm doing. This is what I'm all about, you see. So like I don't watch the telly, don't watch films. I just think about things, right? So it doesn't come across as work to me, but it obviously is a challenge because you're trying to do something, you're trying to improve on things, and so it can be physically draining being in that position. But it's nearly imposed upon me, so that's what I'll do, and so that is a challenge. But as far as, would you call it a challenge or would you call it a pastime? I don't know, or more than a pastime.
Look, when you love what you do, every day is a holiday, baby.
That's right. I know.
So it's all amalgamated into one.
But there's different ways of doing this as well. See, like I think the traditional role is if you set up a company, you'll say we'll register the company and then we'll do an assessment of the market. We'll assess the competition. We'll do a customer profile. We'll analyse demographics. Then we'll get the right people on board and we'll put in a CRM system, and then we'll get a digital marketing campaign. We'll put all of these facilities in together, and then we'll implement it and you let it go like that. And that's a sort of structured way to do it. But on this year, what I done was, and I've done this a number of times, is I get an idea, I'll set myself unrealistic targets, and then I'll get my head down and I'll just run like fuck, you see. And it's always worked for me.
Yeah, just persistence. You've got the persistence gene.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever it takes. Now, if you just think back to, because a lot of businesses want to get to 1 million, that's a major milestone for some small businesses. In getting to your first 1 million, what were the biggest lessons?
The biggest lessons would probably be, well, the approach that I've just described to you there, by getting your head down and just running. So that works up to a certain degree, right? And I've always had the attitude that if you come across a brick wall, then don't try and negotiate it. Don't try and find a way around it. Just go right through it, you see? And that does work up to that level. But if you're going from 1 million to, say, 7 million, then it requires a different approach.
Well, let's talk about that. So what's the difference between getting to your first 1 million and getting 7 million in sales?
It's a significantly harder than you would think.
In what way?
Like getting to 1 million, in my experience, was really quite easy. That's what I said. So just a headstrong attitude, just go for it. Just go, run, go. You see? So, and put yourself in uncomfortable situations and just smash it on absolutely everything.
You did it quicker, though, than a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Although I don't know if you if you take the 10 years before that you're dismantling the...
Well, that was prep.
That was prep, wasn't it?
That was prep.
Yeah. But you had to earn money in that time as well.
Of course. That's right.
You know, buying and selling.
Yep.
That was your apprenticeship.
Yes. That's right.
And then after that 10 years, was it, you were saying it was easy because you had your intention, you just followed through, you did whatever it takes. You had the tenacity, you had the belief, you had the honesty and the drive.
Mm-hmm.
But getting 7 million in sales, then you said that is actually very different from getting to 1 million.
Yeah.
In what? Go on, just describe it and,
so that
and how you've achieved that.
Well, then that then does require the methodical approach, which I referred to a moment ago. So that requires having go-to-market strategy, doesn't it? That requires analysis on everything that you're doing. That requires significant structure in your team. I mean, like essentially we're a manufacturing business, and at the stage growing from 1 million to get up to the higher numbers, my initial approach was just throw more labour at it, get more guys in. And it got to the stage you'd walk into our workshops and there'd be guys standing in corners and guys hanging over benches, and no progress getting made because the structure wasn't there. So I had to strip everything down, be methodical about everything.
What kind of systems did you put in place?
I will say, for example, if you're manufacturing a number of control systems, a number of different variants of control systems, then you can break them down into sub-assemblies. And there'll be some sub-assemblies which are common to all control systems. So the idea is instead of one man building one control system, you put one man building only sub-assembly A or sub-assembly B, and then you time how long it takes to make sub-assembly A and sub-assembly B. And then you can condense that in so that everybody's very, very clear as to what the objectives are and how long it's going to take. And so then you can put it all in a system. And eventually what we've done is we had our own software system designed around this methodology. So you can put in the number of each type of kit at the start of the week, and then the computer coughs it out who's doing what, and then we go at it. And the staff absolutely love it as well because they know always what they're doing. They know what the expectations are, and it just removes faults.
When people know exactly what's expected of them, they perform much, much higher.
That's right.
Is that the bit that changed?
That changed, yeah, definitely.
And what happened to profits off the back of that?
Increased significantly. You know, like our production must have went up 65%.
Just from that?
Just from that, yeah. Yep, very, very easy. And then it engages the team as well.
Okay, so moving towards getting 7 million in sales. Do you want to grow to 100 million plus?
Yes.
That was like a bit of an unconvincing yes, but it might not be an unconvincing yes because you're a man of few words from time to time. So are you serious about going to 100 million plus?
Oh, no, certainly so, yeah. No, it's the pathway is there about how this can be achieved. The product's there. The energy's there. I've got more energy than just about anybody I've ever met in my life. And what I'm doing just now is I'm surrounding myself with the people which the most qualified people that I can, and we've got this energy in our team now. You may call it a synergy, right? And we're onto something, and it's unstoppable.
We've got this energy in our team now.
Mm-hmm.
You may call this synergy. It's unstoppable.
Yeah.
How did you create that?
Just keep on going. Don't give up. There's no growth and comfort, is there? So get your head down and get on with it.
Someone who's not got synergy is that just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Surely there's the strategy, the system, the team that come into creating that.
But that comes natural, doesn't it? Because if you're creating something special and you gain the goodwill of the people that are involved in your endeavour, then they will collaborate and then magic things happen.
Right, so in the middle of all this, we've got to create something special.
Yeah.
And you're fixing a problem in the world, which is part of sustainability problem, really.
Entirely, yeah. Yep. But we're having a good time along the way, which is the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. You're very, very likable, Michael. Is getting Marco involved part of the strategy on getting to 100 million?
It's a big part of it, definitely, isn't it? But I think it's also it's testament to what we're doing that we can attract people of that calibre. And
When you say it's testament to what we're doing,
yeah,
what are you doing?
what are we doing? We're challenging the norm in this industry. We're creating something fresh. We are
you a disruptor?
a disruptor. You could say a disruptor, and depends on what you mean by a disruptor. A disruptive person, a disruptive individual, then certainly no, right? But if the question was, are you creating a disruptive product, a challenging product, a brand which is challenging the status quo and tearing up the rules and doing something better, then the answer is a definite yes. And will we upset people that are not direct stakeholders in what we are doing along the way? Then we will. But that's not intended. The intention is to do something bigger and greater than what is out there just now. And can we achieve it? Most certainly.
Make the world a better place.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, up to £100 a week, the cost for me, to a £1 cost for me. So the financial gain for me is huge if I was to change or put this control system in place.
Yep.
But the net carbon reduction.
Yeah. That's
is
mammoth, isn't it? Yep. Year on
10x.
year. Yep.
I mean, surely modern day society is positively all over you.
Oh, no, definitely. That's right.
Behind what you're doing and, want it to flourish and succeed. Now, you've recently been through a massive court battle.
That's right. Yes.
A massive court battle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And when I say massive, it can't get any bigger.
It was serious.
This is... if everybody can just think David against Goliath for a second, the small person against the giant.
Mm-hmm.
Just what was it like to be taken to court by the biggest player in the industry?
It was, well, from the outset, I suppose my initial reaction when they served papers on us was, this might sound a bit wrong, but I was flattered to begin with, because it meant that what I was doing was the right thing to do.
So a letter came through the door type thing?
Yeah, or a folder, you may say. You see, so a lot of time had been invested in presenting a case to me and making demands of our company that we essentially had to move out of the country and stop doing what we were doing. You see, so that was, as I say, initially I was flattered, and then I kind of took a step back from it and I thought, this is probably not that good news, but it means that we're doing the right thing. So what are you going to do? I mean, like, you can either roll up into a little ball, right, and wait for the grizzly bear to eat you, right, or you can run away in vain from the grizzly bear and he'll probably catch up with you and eat you also, yeah, or you can rely upon the confidence that you can run faster than the grizzly bear. In fact, you can refer to the knowledge that you're already running faster than the grizzly bear, yeah, and you can rely upon the self-belief in yourself and in your team that the best is yet to come and the grizzly bear does not have a chance. So in preparation for this, I wrote myself a letter, like, I don't know, about 9 months ago, and I promised myself how I was going to prepare for this legal action. I promised myself how I was going to conduct myself. I promised myself how I was going to approach it, how I was going to engage with other people, and how I was going to come out the end of this unscathed. And I put it in an envelope and then I put it away. And I didn't open it again until I got the judgment passed, which all of the important things came in our favour. And so then that gave me the focus to do what I had to do. You see, I started running. That was my solution to it, which is a bit crazy, and not in a like physically running. You see, not in a running away.
Did
Not
you
in
need
a-
to do that to de-stress, to think, to get clear?
No, I don't know what it was. It was the right thing to do.
It's like Forrest Gump one day started running.
Just started running.
Are you like Forrest Gump?
I don't know what Forrest Gump was up to, but
Very, very simple.
aye,
He just kept things very simple.
just kept going. Aye,
And he just kept going.
yep.
I mean, I'm getting associations there, all of the positive ones, by
Aye.
the way. Now, look, it was the biggest player in the industry,
Yeah,
and they didn't just take you to court,
yep.
they took you to the Royal Court of Justice.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And in actual fact, I want to say 9 people out of 10, but it's probably more 99 people out of 100 or 999 people out of 1,000. I don't know, I'm making the numbers up, would have let the grizzly bear eat them.
Well, maybe, but not if they had a sense of responsibility.
Oh.
You see, so that's the
That's the takeaway message here.
yeah.
You've got a responsibility to do something special in this world and make it a better place.
That's
It's
it.
purpose driven. Now, it's cost you, I want to say millions.
And loss of revenue, certainly millions and millions of pounds. That's correct. Yep. But what's the price for a man's pride? You see? What are you going to do? There are no options.
Yeah, but some people may say it's foolish.
Not when you win and you're this was James, this was an existential threat, yeah. So it's not just on the business, right? Business is just a business. Who cares about a business, right? What about the ideas or the concepts or the products which I have developed and the ones which are just coming? So existential threat on them, yeah. Then you've got your stakeholders, so that's your staff, the people that you've engaged with, the people that you are totally on board with you and totally behind you. And then you can say personally, if that's important, or then you can go like that, well then this then affects your children, then doesn't it? So you're talking about big business that wants to destroy you, put you out of the game, and so what you're going to do, start again, get back on the train. It's not happening. It's not happening. See?
You are scary to come up with. Now, I know from a little bit of research and just speaking to you beforehand that on the way to the Royal Court of Justice, you played a song.
I did. Aye.
So you listened to a song.
Yep.
And the song was?
The Foggy Dew by the Chieftains. And this is all part of the preparation, you know.
Now, I would encourage everybody to listening right now, maybe to pause this and just don't pause it after I've told you I'll give you the non-Scottish accent version of that. So
Yep.
it's the Foggy Dew.
Yeah.
It's Sinead O'Connor and
And the Chieftains.
the Chieftains. That's right. Now I listened to this. I listened to this song. Please go and listen to this song if you're listening right now. Please go and listen to the song. And within 30 seconds, it dawned on me that you were a man on a mission, destined to win. In fact, I would be scared to go up against you in war because of the impression I've got on you, and then you've got that music on, and you're walking to the Royal Court of Justice. Now, tell us the story about winning.
About winning? Well, where was I? Where was I at the time? I was at home, and it took a long time to come through. You see, so you're not given a timeline for these things. It's got to happen within 3 months. You see, so there's an expectation. Me being optimistic, we'll get it in a couple of weeks. You see, it's not happening. So then you start getting more towards the edge of your chair, and before you know it, there's nothing left. So no, I was at home, and then I'd got the message through from our fantastic lawyers that had come through, and I was with my wife at the time, which was great because a lot of the time I'm at work, so we were able to share a bit of a special moment. And then there was one part of it which wasn't quite clear, and it had to go back. So there was one little bit that had to be resolved, and that hadn't come through yet. But I was up in Liverpool at the time, and I just curiously won a banjo competition. And I come out of that, and then I had messages on my phone from the lawyers that would actually got this next bit, you see. So, no, it was magnificent, elation. And
what was it like being cross-examined in the Royal Court of Justice?
well, it's all in the preparation. It was all in the letter, you see, that I wrote to myself about how I was going to conduct myself. You see, I would say that I don't think my accent does me any favours, because I think that maybe threw the barrister off to a degree. But I felt, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation before where everybody knows what stress feels like, but you can get to this stage, and I'd read about this, and I actually try to do it. So if you're experiencing such high levels of stress, and this wasn't at the time that I was getting cross-examined, but this was in the lead up to it, so that it's possible to channel your stress. Like, seeing the 4 days before trial, the stress levels were so high, but I wasn't erratic. I was the most focused that I'd ever been in my life, and I had this attention to detail which I've never had in my life. I was like super aware and super calm. You see, I could have heard a pin drop a mile away, and you can use that to your advantage, you see. So when it came to the point of cross-examination, I was super relaxed. I knew where I was going, and it wasn't the way that it could have been. So you may say it's one of the worst, but probably one of the most enjoyable experiences of my life at the same time.
Did the running help?
The running helped, great, yeah. There you go. Even on the morning of the trial, I was out running at 4:30 in the morning round the National Gallery in London.
How many miles did you do?
Just 10.
Just 10?
Just 10 standard. But that then back to the hotel, cold shower, put on the suit, tighten the tie, wear the suit, right? Understand what it means to wear the suit. Headphones down, volume full, foggy dew, let's go to war. And that was it.
And that's why you're scary. Everybody's picturing that right now.
Mm.
What does it mean to wear the suit?
It means, well, it's stepping into role, isn't it? You see? So it's about, well, for me, and at that point in time, it was about trying to embody the best version of myself. And I'd spent 9 months, 10 months before that practicing being the very best version of myself, so that when I went into that suit, that's who I was.
The very best person.
Mm-hmm.
The very best self that you can be. How do you do that? Preparation. You write a letter to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Did you demand that of yourself?
Oh, I'm very, very, very hard on myself, so yes.
And nothing stopped you from becoming it. Did they, are you allowed to say who or what? Did they effectively try to put you out of business?
Almost certainly, so that if they'd won on their key judgments, then it would have put me out of business, and it would have had much, much wider implications for the bigger industry. So there's hundreds of companies which sell our products, and that would have been wiped out.
So the industry won?
Yes. Oh no, entirely. So they
sustainability won?
Yep.
The industry won?
That's right. Yep.
The people won. I won. I mean, I can, if I get the range cooker, I can have it for £1
That's right.
a day.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And you won?
Yes.
What did that make you feel like?
Now let's get to work.
Do you feel like the shackles have been released?
I know, certainly, because I've got very big plans, you see, and this was an unwelcome bump in the road, you see, so we're not going to have it.
It's so fresh is your outlook on this. This was an unwelcome bump in the road. If you can get through this, can you get through anything?
I would say so.
You know, the same question I asked you at the start, was it to stand up for yourself in a small business?
Yeah.
Tenacity, belief, honesty, and drive. Would you put having a big purpose that's something special that you're standing up for in the mix as well?
Well, that stands for a lot, doesn't it? Because that allows you to engage other people, doesn't it?
Where did this 100 million come from? I mean, why are you seeing, or how are you seeing the pathway to 100 million?
Well, the sky's the limit with this. Certainly, what I'm doing with this is not just on this cooker side for stone cookers. This can be so much more than even a national brand. This can be a global brand, and it doesn't just embody cookers, high-end cookers. There's a whole string of appliances which I've got designed and ready to go.
I mean, what kind of products and services should we be showing the listeners right now? You know, because some people listening right now might want that glorious-looking range cooker.
Yep.
You know, where should they go to have a look at this?
Stonecookers.com.
And the official launch is?
October, end of October, start of November is our big launch with Marco. And there's no looking back.
Has Marco cooked you a meal yet?
Not yet. No.
What are you going to have him cook for you?
It's in the post. I think I'll have a steak, I think.
I think you'll have a steak. How do you take your steak?
Medium.
Medium?
Medium's
Okay.
fine, aye.
Medium's fine. Can this company, I'm not going to say anything, I don't know if I'm allowed to or not, can they stop you doing what you're doing?
No. And that's now set in stone, you see. So
No pun intended. That's set in stone.
That's set in
cookers.
stone, there you go, aye. No, those objectives have sailed, so I'm just looking forward to concentrating on what I want to concentrate on without third-party interference.
And how big are you going to go?
We're going to go, well, next 5 years are going to be very, very big, and then I'll start going into the other product ranges, so certainly UK national brand.
UK national brand?
Yeah.
Household name?
Yeah.
You recently won an award. I mentioned this earlier on. An event called BizX.
Yes.
And this is the BizX podcast.
There you go. Yep.
And you won the award for the most innovative company in the UK.
That's correct.
And it was a hotly contested award.
It was.
How did you do it? How did you win that award? Is it all because of your invention? Is it because of an entry? I mean, is it because did you write a letter to yourself to say I'm going to win these kind of things?
Not in that circumstance. This was a recognition for the products which we have created and the traction that we've created and the sub-industry that we've created and the prospects for the future.
And that is an independently judged award.
That's right.
You know, so they've obviously seen that and given you the recognition for that.
Yep.
So what's next for the company?
Heads down, run. Head down and run with structure. There's lots of developments which I've not released yet because I've been tied up. But as of now, the things are moving again. So loads of exciting things to happen, loads of fun to be had, and bring it on.
What would you say to anyone else in a David versus Goliath analogy?
Mm-hmm.
When you feel like you're the small person up against something much bigger than you,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to them?
You're going to have to face it, but that's not just about business, that's life, isn't it? You see? So you're going to find these struggles, and so, like, as I said to you already, you can either roll up into a little ball and wait for the grizzly bear to eat you alive, or you can deal with it. No other options.
You can eat the bear.
You can eat the bear. Aye. Might not taste nice, but it's got to be done.
It might not taste nice, it's got to be done. I got some quick questions for you here. What are your values?
Values, as I said, responsibility. Responsibility. I think that's the big one, you see. Standing up for what's right. Yeah. Looking after others. Looking after the people that are close to you. Everything else will fall into place if you do that.
Look after the others close to you.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
You can do that at the same time.
Do you have a big drive from sustainability?
Yes, oh no, definitely.
Is that why you invented?
Well, that's where this all came from, you see. So there's some blindingly obvious solutions to some really age-old problems that maybe they've not been resolved because it's not necessarily in the interest of other stakeholders, but like going forward, our children are going to inherit this world, aren't they? So let's not make a mess while we're here.
So when you were facing this adversity, how many positive thoughts did you need to overcome all of the negative challenges and criticisms and the stuff in court that you were getting?
No, I never really let it. I never crossed my mind for 1 second that I was going to lose this. I never let the goblin.
How did you stay so reassured?
Because I'm right. It's simple, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So I can sleep at night. I've not done anything wrong. Bit of self-belief, energy, helmet on, run. Nothing else for it.
Helmet on, run. You are a scary opposition, that is for sure. What is the most beautiful thing in the world?
Children, hands down.
Why did you say that?
Okay, well, one, because it's the correct answer, but it's the thing that's touched me more than anything. You see, children are putting your children to bed, because I think that's a special time, because that's at the time where they're most vulnerable. You see,
Is it?
And that's where you can build bonds which can't be broken. So
I relate to that.
yeah.
I tell my children fairy tales every night I'm there.
Yep.
Every single night, fairy tale. I put that into the fairy tale.
Yep. Oh, brilliant.
You know, I learned from Walt Disney. Tell them as many fairy tales as you can.
Yep.
It will have the biggest impact on their success in life. Keep telling them the fairy tales.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best gift that you can give anyone?
Encouragement. Yeah, encouragement, and let them know that somebody else believes in them. Not false encouragement, but like reinforcement.
Do you know, in all of the years of helping people, I've never heard anyone come up and say, the reason I failed is because I got encouraged too much.
Right, there you go.
So
Yep.
the best gift you can give anyone is encouragement.
Yeah. And it's
Everybody become an encourager. What's the best book you've ever read?
Atomic Habits.
Why did you choose that? James Clear.
Yeah. Because it's I don't know, it applies to anybody, doesn't it? And you can take as much out of it or as little out of it as you want, and you can instantly start to do it. And it rationalises things as well. So you don't need to look at the mountain, do you? Start small. Good things will happen. You know?
There's something very reassuring in your tone and your smile, and it's very trustworthy. Start small. Good things can happen.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Elon Musk or Richard Branson?
I like Elon Musk for his wackiness, but I think we'll all be safer with Branson now.
They're both inventors, though. They've both got the vision.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
they've both got the vision. You like him for his wackiness. Can you relate to that? Are you wacky?
I'm a bit wacky. I'm a bit strange. Yeah. No problem with that.
But Branson's a little bit safer.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the first action that people should take now they've listened to this podcast?
I don't know. You got me in that one.
If you could encourage them to develop a belief in themselves, to stand up for what matters most, what words would you say to them?
I would say you're good enough. You're good enough in every single way.
And where should they say that?
They should say that internally.
How many times?
As many times as they can say it, constantly, if need be.
You're good enough in every single way.
Yep. Take one small step and then keep on going.
And in terms of a letter they should write to themselves, what would you encourage to put in the letter?
Get your head down and run like fuck.
Get your head down.
Yep.
And go.
And go. Go for it. Don't let them hold you back.
Who's them? The world.
Anybody. That's right. Go for it.
You know what my favourite thing in this? There's a couple of bits. I mean, you inspire me on every level. You are a warrior. You epitomise what it takes to start. You epitomise courage. the last thing that you just said then is ridiculously inspirational for everyone listening right now. What's been your favourite part of this conversation?
Reflective moments, yeah. Reflective moments. So it's just like, it's like opening a toy box, isn't it? And you'll find wee bits in here you've not really thought about, and you give that one a wee shake, and then give that one a wee shake, and then stick it back in and take out the next one.
On behalf of everybody listening, good luck.
Thanks a lot, James.
When you get to 100 million, we want you back in here,
Yes,
all right, sir?
We'll do it again. Let's run it back.
And in fact, when you get to that point, can we do another one? And can Marco bring us the steaks?
Yes.
I'll join you on the medium. Can we do that? Can we make that happen? You'll have enough money. You can have enough money at that point to pay him. Yeah, so we're going to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael McGinley, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Welcome to the BizX podcast, sharing with you all of the secrets and winning formulas in both business and life, with powerful lessons from guests like Frank Bruno, Nick Jenkins, Brad Sugars, Bianca Westwood, and many, many more. Yet, the sad reality is that over 80% of you aren't subscribed yet. And if that's you, hit the subscribe button now and help us grow this channel so that you can get 1% closer every single week to achieving your dreams in both business and life. Let's do this.